Okay, let's talk about Ethan Klein and what he's doing here with Trisha Paytas in an attempt to deflect on his leaked Reddit account, because it's absolutely ridiculous, obviously, and I think it's incredibly pathetic. And I've seen that people have compiled the times that Ethan, when he's been in a bit of being called out, that he will deflect on Trisha Paytas because ultimately he is so obsessed over her. So, as we know, Ethan Klein's Reddit account, Pedo Troll, so let's just refer to Ethan Klein as Pedo Troll. So Pedo Troll's account, got leaked. And obviously, the contents of the account were pedophilic jokes, references, stories about putting peanut butter on your private parts so your dog can lick it, swinging your private parts in front of young children, like shitting in your hands and shitting on the floor and all these different things. And again, a bunch of Israeli propaganda. And he would also post about his parents cheating on each other on there. And he would also promote his YouTube channel on there. He was in allegedly Destiny subreddits. He would also ask for advice on there. He was using this account for everything. And it's funny because when the account got, exposed for being his, and Ethan will actively say again that he has no shame in this account, he scrubbed it from the internet. He deleted every post. So Ethan has now obviously been getting so much backlash over this that he has decided, instead of addressing it further, that he is now going to deflect onto Trisha Paytas and basically be like, how can you call me out? You should be focusing on Trisha Paytas, which is absolutely crazy. Now, really quickly, again, I think it's important to just really fast go through Ethan's statement on his account Pedo Troll, because it's going to be very important context, because he keeps referencing Trisha Paytas' old posts here, but the difference between Ethan and Trisha is Trisha has never doubled down on it. So really quickly, we're not even going to stop. We're just going to read it all just so you can remember, okay? Just so you can remember. So when the account leaked, this is what Ethan said. My friends, I have a terrible confession to make. Yes, it is true. My 15-year-old Reddit account, and he was 25, 26, 27 when this was posted, by the way, which is still 2, 3, 4 years older than what I am right now. So how dare he try to hold people like me to a standard whenever older than what I am right now. He was pedo fishing on social media. Was identified using a doxing website that lists a history of all emails and passwords that have been leaked in illegal data breaches. A post last night was made on the Snark subreddit by the person who obtained the information. With Reddit's help, this person was able to disseminate this illegally and maliciously obtained information to a community whose sole purpose was to harass me, my family, and my employees. In doing so, some terrible revelations were made. Number one, yes, my account username Pedo Troll made a few bizarre and edgy attempts at being funny. It was a common on Reddit 15 years ago to create a thematically named troll account to post silly things from. The method was to have Redditors read something crazy, but he was also, by the way, sorry, I said I wasn't going to stop. He was also posting things about his actual life in this and asking for advice, so this wasn't solely just a trolling account. That's the only time I'll stop, okay? And realize it was a goof. You can see the evidence of this on the posts made in character. These troll stories include anecdotes that clearly never happened, including a story that references my children who were born 10 years later. Further evidence of this is simply that I was self-promoting my YouTube channel while doing these parody posts. I knew I was identifiable the entire time. I was trying to be funny so people would look at my account and discover my YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm stopping again. How is this him being doxxed and this illegal, people leaking his Reddit when he's saying that he was actively promoting himself and he was easily identifiable? Sorry, stopping again. I was not ashamed of it then. I was not ashamed of it then, and I am not ashamed of it now. I was not ashamed of it then, and I am not ashamed of it now. Embarrassed? Yes. On par with cringing at old YouTube videos, though. 2. Yes, there are a few posts of me being a Zionist Jewish supremacy, which includes me mostly arguing with someone calling Israel Nazi Germany, which makes sense with literally what Ethan does nowadays. In totality, about 95% of the posts were about StarCraft 2 or self-promoting my YouTube channel, so it wasn't a troll account then. Sorry, stopping again. I have nothing to hide, and I have nothing to apologize for. Again, I have nothing to apologize for, he says, about pedo troll. So we now have, this is important. I was not ashamed of it then, and I'm not ashamed of it now, number one. And then he says, I have nothing to apologize for. That is the context you need going into what we have now. Ethan posted today, how many people losing their minds are Trisha fans? Do these people even believe the shit they say? And he's posted from 2011, Trisha's posts from social media, which Trisha Paytas, by the way, has addressed her old posts, apologized for her old behavior. And Ethan Klein says that he does not need to apologize for his. Wake it up. Wake it up. He is trying to deflect that Trisha Paytas was also writing creepy things about underage people, while Trisha has, in the decade that we've had since both Ethan and Trisha were doing this, Trisha has rebranded herself. Trisha does not do this kind of edgy, creepy, humor, weird stuff that Ethan, you could still find examples of on his YouTube channel, mind you. And Trisha has literally, over the years, apologized for the posts that she's made on social media. Ethan Klein 2 days ago posted that he will not apologize for his. Are we getting this? Are we fucking getting this? This is not a case of defending Trisha, defending Ethan, picking a side. It is point blank, period. Ethan Klein, in an attempt to deflect from him being pedo troll, is trying to say, look what Trisha posted at the same time I was. The difference is 2 days ago, Ethan said, I have nothing to apologize for being pedo troll. Ethan will always find a way to bring it back to Trisha and Hassan. So he posted Trisha's tweet, my Scotty McReary is on Jay Leno tonight. He's my inappropriate and underage fantasy. I love you, boo-boo. Hashtag jailbait status. So he posted that. He also posts, how many people losing their minds are Trisha fans? Do these people not believe the shit they're saying? Trisha, Scotty McReary, marry me, please. I don't care if you're not legal. I'll take that chance. Hashtag amaze. And he's highlighting, as if, first of all, we can't see what he's posting. Justin likes curves. Baby, I know you're underage boo-boo, but these bumps and humps on my body would gladly go to jail for you. Moving on. When it was Trevi, Moran turns 18. I'm so ready for her. Hashtag I can hear yo echo in my pants. And he posted all this with the description, how many people losing their minds are Trisha fans? These people not believe the shit they say. He has the audacity to post these saying, why are you coming for me when Trisha posted these? However, Ethan, literally, when he's exposed for all of that creepy, disgusting shit that we could even barely read out on a video, he said, oh my God, he's not ashamed of it then, not ashamed of it now. I have nothing to hide and nothing to apologize for. He has the audacity to, in an attempt where people are exposing him for being the almighty pedo troll, Ethan Klein is pedo troll. He has the audacity to deflect onto Trisha Paytas, which again shows his true obsession with bringing women down, mainly. And he hasn't even apologized for the things that he's getting on. Ethan, we're looking at you. We're still focused on you right now. It's actually fucking insane. It is truly insane. He's trying to hold him and Trisha to the same standards for things Trisha has apologized for, and Ethan is doubling down that he has nothing to apologize for. And by the way, the things that Ethan were writing, this is not a competition by any means. The things Ethan were writing were 10 times more disturbing and 10 times more pedophilic. Ethan, in a pedophilic off with Trisha Paytas, you're taking the crown. You're literally taking the crown. Not only do you have an alter ego called Pedo Troll, but you were writing pedophilic things. Ethan, you're literally talking about children like seeing you masturbate and swinging your dick in front of kids and having your dick out while a kid walks in on the stall with you. And like, Ethan, in a pedo off with Trisha, you are winning. You are winning. And you know what's even crazier, Ethan? You're doubling down that you have nothing to apologize for. So how dare you try to deflect it on anyone? He's deflecting and it's not working. It's really not working. It really is not working. But anyways, I saw this. Really interesting. That anytime that Ethan gets involved in things, he literally will deflect it to Trisha Paytas. I thought this was really good, this compilation. How many times has Ethan Klein deflected to Trisha Paytas amidst the controversy? Here's a few examples. Here we go. Adam McIntyre, always at the scene of the crime. Adam McIntyre somehow always fucking involved. So, this was crazy Hila. Everyone duck for cover before she decides to raid you. Ethan Klein's wife, Hila, says she wants Adam to disappear, and I quoted, "Such a crazy fucking woman, my God." And Ethan responds, "Shut your mouth. You're a terrible person. A complete phony. You called Trisha's daughter the spawn of Satan, and now you're promoting snark that calls CPS." Which is funny because Destiny, who basically was making fun of CPS being called on Ethan quoted what Destiny said about that and was like, "Destiny, you inspire me," which proves that Ethan is a fraud, Ethan's a terrible person, Ethan's a phony, and also his wife is someone who raids innocent people when she's bored. You have the convictions of a wet noodle. Well, Ethan, I'm sure based on your old social media posts, you have some convictions too that could be argued. You will do and say anything for clout. You're nothing more than a deranged snarker now, a pathetic little worm. Hila is a fucking goddess and you're a giant loser. Hila is none of the sort, mind you. Let's wake it up. Hila is none of the sort. Hila is none of the sort, and neither are you. And by the way, I love this. Love this. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. You're a 40-year-old man. You're a creepy 40-year-old man. You're a creepy man. However, here we have Ethan deflecting in a moment of Hila Klein, wishing for another person to disappear, which we know is not something this is the first time she's wished this. Except this time she's doing it over the internet instead of trying to, in-person raid someone. But she's bored, guys. Just a secretary, y'all. Anyways, here we have again Ethan involved in a controversy and deflecting to Trisha. Here is a post from the H3H3 Productions Reddit, the biggest snark page of all time. A reminder for Trisha Paytas' fans, Trisha harassed and abused Ethan constantly during frenemies, insulted Hila and Moses, and said Moses just wants to fuck H3 fans and she will fuck Ethan's dad. The problem is, I'm sure Ethan's dad would have done that if he was 21 and Trisha was 16, like he normally frequently would like to. But unfortunately, Trisha is now a grown man and I'm sure he's uninterested. Wake it up. Wake it up. Wake it the fuck up. Wake it up. Wake it up. This is the same person Trisha fans claim was actually Ethan's victim. Here's an incomplete timeline of her abuse. Ethan is posting deep dive timelines of Trisha Paytas from his snark page. Ethan, you are the biggest snarker. You are the ultimate snarker. And Ethan posted this on his story in a moment where he was being called out and said this. LOL. Are people actually mad about what I said? This freak lied, in my opinion, about being infertile for social credit. Weird. This is so weird. For social credit, and then immediately had 3 kids in perfect succession. I'm entitled to my opinion on the matter as a parent who has also been through fertility treatments. You're entitled to talking about Trisha Paytas' fertility? Are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself? Are you genuinely listening to yourself, you weirdo? When your family tree grows up and realizes that you were fucking obsessing over what, your niece and nephew's fucking parents' fertility, you fucking creep. Creepy. I'll also add that this involves my family, so this is very much so my business and very much so not yours. He says posting it on social media. Ethan Klein for Mental Hospital 2025. Oh, God. You parasocial rejects. P.S. Moses allegedly sexually assaulted at least one of our fans, stealthing, and exploited at least one other for sex. He is the reason there'll never be a Frenemies reunion, not Trisha. So why did you continuously bring up Frenemies for years after this? Because you were waiting for the public to like Trisha again so that you could have filmed Frenemies. And by the time the public liked her again, the public hated you. That's why there's no Frenemies. That's why there's no Frenemies. How dare you pretend to care about the Moses allegations? Which, mind you, by the way, for the H3 people, we were one of the first people to talk about on my YouTube channel. So fuck you for insinuating that I don't keep the same energy. Piss off. Anyways. We will never forgive him for taking advantage of our fans for sex behind our backs. Also, her fans have tried to ruin our lives every day since Frenemies ended. Some of them are currently being sued. Have a nice day. Loser. Loser. Here we have him again deflecting to Trisha, like how he's currently doing because he's been exposed for being pedo troll. Another one, like I said, where he's talking about, Adam McIntyre, always at the scene of the crime. Here we have him again posting about Trisha in a moment of deflection. Oh my God. So here we have Ethan reposting that Adam McIntyre snark has been banned from Reddit. Now, you may think, okay, this entire post is going to be about Adam McIntyre, you know, because he hates him so much as well. He manages to bring up Trisha. He's managing to bring up Trisha. The snarkers are claiming Adam's subreddit was removed for lack of moderators. The reason I know this is bullshit is because they always give a random reason for sub bans on these snarks. My subreddit literally didn't have moderators. The moderators literally posted, hey guys, we're leaving. Here we go. Trisha was shut down for copyright infringement, but there's one sure test, and this is it. Here we have him bringing up Trisha again when he's angry about my snark being shut down. And here we have Ethan Klein saying, Ethan Klein, the biggest snarker of all time, by the way, calling for a snark page to be created. And no one talked about this enough. We should test this. We should wait for a new Adam snark to be made. Ethan is literally asking for snark reddits to be made of people he doesn't like. He is the biggest snarker of all time. Let's wait for a new Adam snark subreddit to be made. If they close it, they are lying. If they open it, then that's fair. Apparently it only needs to be moderated, right? Well, okay, let's see. Separately, a reminder, you cannot make a snark about Hassan. It gets closed immediately. Every time, try it. Ethan Klein, the biggest snarker of all time, in one Instagram, has called for a snark to be made about me and Hassan. He literally is calling for snarks to be made. Ethan Klein cannot dare call anyone a snarker. He's asking for them to be created. You know why? Because it gives him something else to scroll on his phone instead of looking after his fucking kids. Ethan, how much are you paying those fucking nannies? They have to be working fucking overtime for the amount that you're posting on your fucking phone. I hope that you're active in their lives. It's probably fucking like this, honestly. How can you be posting so fucking goddamn much? It's insane. Put the phone down. You're missing the good years of the kids, Ethan. Creep. Goodness me, let's hope these snarks don't get fucking created so the kids can make more fucking memories without daddy staring at his goddamn phone. Here we have another one of him posting the Just Trish podcast Reddit. Fucking hell. Not right now, kids. Daddy's snarking. LMAO, y'all really think he's sorry for serving in the IDF? The cope is insane. Your boy was a helicopter pilot, very proud of his service, talked about it all the time. There's nothing wrong with either of their service, to be clear. It's just that you are a lot of pathetic losers, have convinced yourself that Hila, a secretary, has committed war crimes, but Moses, a combat pilot, gets a pass because you like his wife? Imagine being that fucking dumb and delusional. Holy shit, you guys are pathetic. Y'all really should stop bringing it up too. There's nothing Trisha fears more than Moses' past being dug into. Yes, we know. Hila already admitted that she went on a raid for funsies. But number two, can I also just clarify something here? Can I just clarify something? Ethan and H3 people use the argument that the IDF service is mandatory, therefore you cannot hold it against someone. But here we have him using Moses' mandatory IDF service against him when, let's also clock it for a second here, Moses and Trisha a couple years ago was so fucking weirdly obsessed and pro-Israel. She was doing Israel parties. We were calling her out every single week about it. You know what the difference is now? Trisha doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't do that anymore. And actually, Trisha would sit beside her husband, who served in the IDF, and Trisha would say something uneducated about Israel, and Moses would shut it down, mind you. So, Moses and Hila, upon reflecting on their IDF service, mandatory or not, do not look at it in the same right. So it's actually not accurate to compare Moses being in the IDF in 2025 with Hila being in it, because both of them have very, very, very different, at least public, takes when it comes to talking about Israel. So let's get that clear, mind you. But here we have Ethan again. In a moment of backlash, he's scouring Reddit, looking for stuff on Trisha to deflect from Hila. Here we have another one. Two of the main mods are actually Trisha superfans. Ironic they organized a harassment campaign to ruin my life for being a Zionist when Trisha is actually a Jewish supremacist, and Moses has fought in combat for the IDF. Him again, deflecting. Now, I just want to clarify again. Ethan is now trying to throw Trisha under the bus for old tweets that she made that are inappropriate, wrong, and creepy. Meanwhile, Trisha has apologized for these, and Ethan's account pedo troll resurfaced with pedo jokes and pedo situations, and he says, remember, I have nothing to hide or apologize for, and also, he's not ashamed of any of it. Ethan is pedo troll through and through. So how dare him try to make an argument against Trisha here? And you know what? People love to say I dick ride Trisha. Actually, in this instance, I'm just going so hard on showing how Ethan is a hypocrite that I don't care if it looks like I'm dick riding Trisha here, because Ethan deserves to, for once, face the ramifications of his own actions instead of deflecting on one of his enemies. So, let's wake it up. And we'll leave it there.